Welcome to the Bay Bridge Series. Ty Block, the young lefty for the Giants, will be making his first career start against the A's. Block has had great success against the Giants' natural rivals, the Dodgers. And now he'll look to do the same against their Cross Bay rivals. Ty Block takes on the A's and is coming up next. Back here at AT Park as we wrap up this short 2-game series, and tonight it's the Oakland A's and the San Francisco Giants. Welcome to NBC Sports Bay Area, powered by Xfinity. Hi again, everybody. I'm Dwayne Kuiper. Alongside me, as always, is Mike Krukow. Well, hey, look, a win tonight, and this 4-game series will end up tied at 2-2. And I think when you're playing your rivals, your Bay Area rivals, I think it would be nice to at least go 2-2.
Well, absolutely. And the Giants players, as well as the A's players, they know what it means to their fan base. This is not just another game. So what do you do if you're the Giants? You give the ball to Ty Block, who really has been an outstanding story this year for San Francisco. He looks to continue a very solid rookie season. But the Giants have to do one thing that they couldn't do last night. They've got to swing the bats. They've got to score some runs, just like they did in Game 2 of the series when they had 14 hits and 10 runs and 3 home runs.
Yeah. And a couple of new guys in the lineup. That's Parker, that's Jones, and we'll see how they do tonight against a real good sinker baller. All right, stay tuned. We'll take you to our NBC Sports Bay Area studios for an update right after this.
NBC Sports Bay Area is brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. By State Farm. Combine auto and renters and see how much you can save. Talk to an agent today. By Jack in the Box. Come try the new sweet or spicy barbecue bacon cheeseburger and chicken sandwich. Limited time only. And by the 2017 Jeep Cherokee with an EPA estimated 30 highway miles per gallon.
Well, Giants fans will definitely be checking out those jerseys as your Giants and A's get set to face each other for the final time in 2017. Welcome back to our broadcast, everybody. The Giants looking once again for a bounce-back win last night. Several roster moves announced. So Jarrett Parker has been activated off that 60-day disabled list. Ryder Jones recalled from AAA Sacramento. Jay Wong optioned to AAA Sacramento, and the toughest move of them all, Connor Gillaspie was designated for assignment. This is a very tough move for the Giants. Connor was known to come through in the clutch and will always be remembered for his 2016 postseason heroics. We're going to take a look back at a couple of his fantastic moments. It's our Jeep drive of the game, and John Miller has the call.
The infield, the middle, double play depth, the pitch. A high drive into right center field. Going back is Bruce, still going back. Adios! Pelota! It's a three-run homer for Connor Gillaspie. And they are stunned in the big city. Connor Gillaspie has hit a three-run homer into the Mets bullpen, and that is a shot, and it was out of here with plenty to spare. The Giants have a 3-0 lead in the ninth. And here it comes. Swing. There's a shot. Right center field. Almora going back. It's over his head. It rolls to the wall. Right near the 421 sign. Belt scores the tying run. And Posey is safe. He beats the throw home. A triple for Connor Gillaspie. And the Giants have gone ahead in the 8th inning.
Well, no matter where Connor ends up, he will always be a great Giant. All right, you're witnessing the youth movement, and Ty Block's going to get it going tonight on the mound. Krug and Kipe have the call. They've got lineups. They've got first pitch, Giants, A's, Battle of the Bay, all coming up.
hit. Our game time weather is presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Hey, it's a great time to get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is open every day. 68 degrees. You see the winds and humidity, and the forecast is hazy, overcast, but not a problem. Here's the lineup for Bob Melvin. It's brought to you by Southwest Airlines. It'll be Davis, Simeon, and then Lowry. Chris Davis not in the lineup yesterday, but back in the lineup today. And you can see he hits the ball out of the park, followed by Healy, Pinder, and Chapman. Bruce Maxwell will hit 8th, and Kendall Graveman 9th.
On the hill tonight for the Giants will be the left-handed rookie Ty Blach, and you have to keep reminding yourself that he is a rookie. He has not pitched like it this year. And 17 starts, 6 and 7 with a 4.38 ERA. He's been one of the more consistent starters on this Giants team. 6'1", 220 pounder. He's 26 years of age. When you take your bats against him, you're going to see a fastball that has a natural cut to it. He will try to establish the inside part of the plate to both righties and lefties. He's got a changeup, curveball, slider. He'll use all of his pitches, throw anything at any time.
So here's Raj Davis as we get ready for the first pitch of this ball game. And it is on its way, and it is outside. So we started right on time. Davis last night went 0 for 5. And he skies this one into left center field. Span out into the alleyway makes the catch. 1 out.
Let's take a look at the Giants defensively tonight, playing behind Ty Blach, starting in their outfield from left to right. We welcome back Jared Parker, joined by Denard Span, Hunter Pence. That's your outfield. Crawford and Ryder Jones back to the big league level. That's the left side of the infield. Joe Panic and Brandon Bell will be on the right side. Buster Posey, he'll be in the squad, putting down the signs.
So the two new guys. And Simeon takes down low. Parker not new, but new, let's say, within the last 4 months. 235 for Simeon. Hit a home run, his 4th of the year, a grand slam on Monday, and he's got 15 runs batted in. These guys brought their gloves, and they are ready to roll. Here's the 1-1. Inside corner strike called by Dana DeMuth, Paul Nowert, Chris Cuccione, Carlos Torres. Dana DeMuth, the crew chief. Block working quickly. He gets the ball back and he throws the next pitch high.
Dana DeMuth is a low ball strike umpire. You get a bigger zone early in the count. It kind of tightens up as the count wears on. Pretty consistent zone, though.
Hit the other way and out of play. In this 4-game series, game 4 tonight, A's won on Monday 8-5, Giants won on Tuesday 10-4, as this is hit into the gap and nobody is there. And Simeon's going to have a 1-out double. And in the game last night, A's won 6-1.
All right, time now for our Nissan keys of the game. Number 1, unleash the bats. Offense last night a little stagnant after a 14-hit, 10-run performance in game 2 of this series. They need to find that rhythm in the offense. Number 2, good D behind Ty Blach. Ty Blach puts in play. He takes advantage of his defense, and the defense has to support him as well. Those are our Nissan keys to the game.
So Lowry has had a really good 3 games. 3 hits on Monday. Giants held him down on Tuesday, but he came back yesterday and had 2 hits. So he's got 5 in the series. And he takes a called strike. The A's and their hitters, this is it. This is the first time they've seen Ty Blach. Many may have seen him in spring training, but not in a game that counts. And that runs in tight.
Yeah, that's the big difference between spring training and now, is that innings and at bats in spring training, they don't go on a baseball card. Here, different deal.
Yep. little flare down the right field line and out of play. It's 1-2.
And that's the cut fastball, and that's the subtlety of the fastball that Block has. When you look at him, you're not overly impressed with the velocity, although he can go low 90s with it. But it's what it does at the end. It's movement that bores in on a rider, and it's designed to just get up off the sweet spot up towards the handle.
On the ground to Belt. Belt playing to protect that hole, and Lowry's retired. On the play, Simeon moves to third.
Yeah, chalk that one up to the shift.
I said more first basemen are playing right in that hole. Let's take away a lot of hits. Davis, 28 home runs, 71 driven in, and he drives this one out into right center field, and Span is there, and that's going to end the inning. So in Oakland, probably gone. Giants are coming up. And it's brought to you by Southwest Airlines. It'll be Span, Jones, and Belt. Buster Posey, see what he's done in his last 13 games against the A's. Crawford, Pence, and welcome back Jared Parker. Joe Panico hit 8th and Ty Block 9th.
On the hill tonight for the Oakland Athletics will be the right-hander Kendall Graveman. Graveman, a 3-year veteran. And for Graveman, 6'2", 200-pounder. This is what he has done in 8 starts. 2-2 with a 3.83 ERA. Really hampered by some shoulder strains that he's had to suffer through this year. So it has kind of cut a lot of his year out because of injury. When he's right, you're going to see a sinking fastball that could go to the mid-90s. I mean, it's a good sinker. He'll throw it a lot. He'll also cut it. He has a changeup and a slider to go with it. And when he's right, you're going to see a lot of ground balls. The Giants historically have given him some trouble. In a couple of starts, he's 0-1 with an ERA of 11.37. He's allowed 16 hits and 8 earned runs in 6 1/3 innings. So tonight, Giants hope they can do that some more.
So here's Span. And the first pitch to Span is down low.
Graveman out of Mississippi State, which is really a baseball factory. Been saying that a lot lately about big leaguers.
Span chose bunt and he takes a strike. Span 1 for 4 in the game last night. Giants only had 5 hits last night. It was a pretty boring night offensively. Ryder Jones to foul, and the 1-1. 2 balls and 1 strike. Giants are 6-10 against the American League. The A's are 5-11 against the National League. Out of play, it's 2-2.
Well, she made a play. And she's a hit. Nice going. Gamer babes.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Rolled foul.
Oh yeah, and Denard Span hit it too. Check it out. That is happy.
Two balls, two strikes.
Did you see that lady's t-shirt?
I saw part of it. On the ground to short for Simeon. Got him.
Ooh, that's close. That's one they'll review.
Well, they certainly take a look at it.
That lady's t-shirt said, "I speak fluent sarcasm." Let's take a look at the play. Denard Span.
You got him.
Yep, that won't get challenged. You'll see a thumb go down here real quick from Ron Wotus.
No, they're going to look at it.
No, he said no.
Too late. Signals were mixed up. This replay review is presented by Xfinity. But I don't believe that Denard Span is safe.
Well, I don't think so either. It has to be in the back of the glove. There's certainly not enough there to overturn it. I mean, at the very best case scenario, it's a tie for the Giants, but see this one getting changed. So you hate to give up that advantage in the first inning. One more look. Now there's a chance. What do you think? 10%?
Yes. 17% chance.
Is that the magic Wandu meter? We tend to be a bit more optimistic with the magic Wandu meter. The very fact that it's taken a little while, I think, is a good sign if you're a Giants fan.
It's a great sign. Now it's gone up to 22%. So 6-3 is the putout. And the hitter will be Ryder Jones. Ryder Jones in the couple of weeks that he was in a Giants uniform, he's hitting .048. And he ropes one into right field, a base hit.
Well, he said it's going to be a different ball player than you saw before, and right away I believe it. Let's take a look at the A's defensively, starting in their outfield from left to right. It's going to be Davis, and Pinder. Simeon Chapman on the left side of the infield, Lowry and Healy on the right side. Bruce Maxwell, he'll be in the squad, putting down the signs.
So Jones aboard. And Belt rolls one foul. Coming into that at bat for Ryder Jones, he was 1 for 21. And he's feeling better already.
He should. I mean, 1 for 21 is hard to live by.
Yeah, it's hard to sit on that when you go back to AAA. So you walk into the clubhouse and your old teammates say, "Well, how'd you do?" And you kind of go,
Not for anyone. Not for anyone.
Really? All right. That's not bad.
Hey, you know what, though? You got one. That's the good. The 0 for 20, that's not so good.
Belt takes a strike. Belt hitting at 239. 0 for 4 in the game last night. Drives one to right. This is going to be off of the middle of the archway between second and third, and they did not get him. How about that?
Wow. An absolute strike from Chad Pinder from right field. He played that carom well. When the ball left the bat, you could tell Belt was thinking 2 bags. A bullet, and watch Pinder's play. Bare hand. A strong, accurate throw. No challenge from the A's.
So here's Buster Posey. Buster last night had an uncharacteristic 0 for 4. And he takes outside, 1 ball and no strikes. So Jones at third, Belt at second. Crawford on deck. And a swing and a foul into the glove of Maxwell.
It's big time 6 at 96 miles per hour.
Head towards the arcade in right field and falls shy. So 1 and 2. Infield is playing back. Buster lifetime against Kendall Graveman. He's 3 for 5. And flips one to left for a base hit. Belt will be held at third as Jones scores and the Giants are on the board.
And with that RBI, Buster Posey puts himself in the top 10 for San Francisco Giant all-time RBI leaders, moving ahead of the enormously popular Rich Aurelia.
Here's Crawford. Crawford's got a little ownage on Graveman. He's 3 for 4 in his career. And he takes a called strike.
Graveman, if you're hitting from the left side, you're going to look for sink, and that's going to have big movement running away from you. That last pitch was a little cutter in the outside corner. That's movement coming into a lefty, so that's not something that Crawford was expecting. That's a good first pitch.
Crawford in the game last night walked 3 times. He did have a base hit. Hit to right field. Coming in to score is Belt, and it's 2-0. 4 hits in a row. And for Crawford, RBI number 55.
So with that swing of the bat, Scott Emerson, the pitching coach, is going to come out. And one thing, if you're a sinker baller, you're kind of going to hear the same speech every time from the pitching coach. And it's simply going to be, all right, let's go. Let's get that ball put on the ground, get your double play, get out of here. I mean, that's what you're going to hear your whole life as a sinker baller.
So here's Pence. Pence hitting at 243. 1 for 4 in the game last night, and he takes a pitch down low. There's a strike. Pence has never faced Graveman before, not during the regular season. Balls in a strike. What Graveman's trying to do, he's trying to get Pence to hit one on the ground to the top.
I mean, you're right. I mean, if he misses out of the strike zone, he wants to miss below the strike zone.
Out of play at 94. It's 2-2. Tapped to second, and Pence is going to be called out on another close play.
And they can't challenge it.
And they cannot challenge it.
Take a look at the end of this play. And if his toe slides in the bag, which he did, he beats it out. That's our Toyota Exmo. It's brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. And that's one that the Giants would have been able to prosper from.
So it's been that kind of a year.
It's been that kind of a year.
So here's Parker. Parker takes a strike.
And Paul Nauert, first base umpire, that's one he missed.
Posey and Crawford are your base runners. His injury occurred on April 15th.
So a problem with the signs is Bruce Maxwell comes out to talk it over with Graveman. Say, dude, you have 3 pitches. You're killing me here.
A ball and a strike with Joe Panik on deck.
So the changeup with a 2-seam grip with movement running away from Parker. It's a good pitch. First inning has been tough for Graveman this year. It's been his worst inning.
And not that unusual for sinker ballers.
I think you could throw a lot of pitchers into that first inning.
Hit out into left center field. Nobody's there. Posey scores. Crawford scores. Parker with a double. And it's 4-0.
And that is the key for a left-hander against Graveman. That sinker's going to run away with you. If you try and pull it, you roll over it, you hit it to the second baseman, you stay inside it, you go the opposite way. And that is not a hanger. That's 93-mile-an-hour sink on the bottom part of the strike zone at the knees. And he simply takes it through the opposite field gap. And right now, Bam Mullins and Steve Decker, the Giants hitting instructors, are smiling. Because from Jared Parker's perspective, that's a perfect at bat. There's Bam Mullins.
Well, smiling on the inside.
Yeah, there's Sergeant Decker.
So Panic walked intentionally. Here's Block. And Block takes a ball. Now Block can hit a little bit. I mean, he's going to make some contact.
Now, when you're hitting against a sinker baller like Graveman, if you're a pitcher, you just don't want to get jammed by a sinker.
It's hit to the second baseman. And that's going to end the inning. So the Giants, with 5 hits in the inning, could have been 6. They score 4 times. And after 1, it's 4-0 San Francisco.
Is brought to you by Kelly Moore Paints. Go where the pros go. Kelly Moore, the painter's paint store.
As you can see, late in the afternoon today, the Giants had their team picture. And those 5 guys in the first row just got out of prison.
That's the chain gang. The Giants trainers, led by head trainer Dave Greshner.
Here's Ryan Healy. Healy hit a home run last night. He can hit. There's a called strike. He's a big guy. He's got some power. And just to back that up, he's got 20 home runs this year. As he shoots this one right at Span. 1 out. Let's check in with Amy G. Amy, what do you got?
All right, gentlemen. Well, we've been talking a lot about roster moves this evening, but there has also been a tweak in the rotation. Chris Stratton will be starting on Saturday instead of Matt Cain. Matt Cain now in the bullpen. He is available tonight as a reliever. Bruce Bochy saying this is not a one-time start for Chris Stratton. They may be keeping him in the rotation down the stretch of the season, guys.
All right. Here's Pinder.
Giants going to find out what their young players can do, what their prospects can do.
Pinder 249 home runs, 26 driven in. And a good challenge, 2 balls and 1 strike.
Threw that ball right by him.
Hunter Pence towards the line. 2 outs. Cubs are in town for a 3-game series. The 7th, it's Metallica night. And then Tuesday, 7:15 start. Wednesday, day baseball here in the city at 12:45. SFGiants.com. Cubs Bring on the Cubs.
The world champion Chicago Cubs.
Here's Chapman. Chapman will not be with the Cubs. That Chapman. Here's Matt Chapman, who takes a strike. Was that vessel heading out of the cove?
I think it was.
There it is. Took a little spin into the cove and then out again.
Very calm waters on the bay tonight. Yeah.
That'd be perfect for us to do a game from there.
I'm in.
Every time I've said over the last 18 years about that we should do a game from there, you've said the same thing every time.
Well,
I'm in.
There's a couple though that I've scratched off the list.
I mean the night where Grady Lever froze to death.
Grady, who was our stage manager, he got a little cold one night.
We turned and looked at Grady and thought he was at the top of Mount Everest.
He was not a happy cowboy.
And then to top it off, somebody hit a home run and they blew the water thing out. And
the water cannons blew out. And it was like layering a coat of ice on Grady.
it was. We were out in Triples Alley for his light. There's a strike 3 call, and that'll end the inning. First strikeout for a block. I'm in.
I'm in.
There's.
Are brought to you by Clean, Crisp, Coors Light, and the active managers right now who have played for the Giants. Well, Dusty Baker, Bob Melvin, Dave Roberts, Buddy Black, Scott Service, and Mike Matheny.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
That is cool.
Here's Span. 4-0 Giants. Span bounced out in the first. And here he takes high. This one's just not having. This one's having a great time.
Yeah, she's happy.
So Span, Jones, and Belt, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Ryder, Jones, Belt, Posey, Crawford, Pence. And this is ripped down the right field line. Hinder does a nice job again, and Span's going to get a double.
That pitch was down, and Bernard Span just dropped the bat head on it. And one thing about Span, I mean, he's really been wearing out the inside pitch. I mean, that is off the plate in. And it's hard to keep this pitch fair, and that's a little cut fastball. It's a nice job of staying inside this and raking it over the head of Ryan Healy. So just like that, Graveman right back in the stretch.
And facing Ryder Jones, who singled in the first. And he fouls it back. Jones singled and scored. And the squirt's away, and Span's going to move to third.
That's a big 90-foot gift. It really is. It changes everything. It changes how you play your defense. Changes how you try to pitch to a guy. Changes how the guy at the plate's going to try and hit you. And a little cutter just kind of rattles around the glove of Maxwell. And a nice read from Denard Span.
Infield in. And another base hit. And it's 5-0. Ryder Jones is 2 for 2. And he's got his first Major League RBI.
2 at bats, 2 bullets off the bat of Ryder Jones.
So here's Belt. Belt doubled in the first. And he skies it into left center field. Raj Davis on the move. It is out of here. And for Belt, home run number 18.
And that matches his seasonal high in his career. And he does it in impressive fashion, going the opposite way, taking on the deep gap in left center. And let's watch the pitch. A little cutter that kind of lays out right about the knee height. And he knew it. Hit it trot.
A big fly for Sparky.
Somebody out there in the bleachers has got to make a play. So Simon Castro immediately getting up, starting to heat up for the A's in their bullpen. Scott Anderson, the pitching coach, heads back to the bench. Oh yeah, a lot of smiles down there tonight.
Yeah, here's Buster Posey, who knocked in a run with a hit in the first. A's are now forced to get somebody up. As Posey ropes one down the right field line, and that'll be foul.
There you see Castro, the lanky right-hander.
On the ground to third, where Chapman has it. And his throw is in time.
Well, Xfinity X1 customers say, show me the San Francisco Giants. They say it right into their X1 voice remote, and they get live stats on their TV. You want to do this? You can change the way you experience TV, and you do it with Xfinity X1.
Here's Crawford. Crawford had a base hit and an RBI. And he hits one right on the nose to Pinder in right field. 2 outs. And Hunter Pence is going to hit. Pence, due to the fact the Giants lost their ability to challenge, it cost him a base hit in the first. As he loops one to right, can Pinder get there? He dives and he makes the catch. So Hunter Pence robbed twice now in this game, and that's going to end the inning. So nice play.
Well, nice play indeed. He had to sell out for this, and in the end puts it right in the sweet spot.
Giants are on top, 7-0. Fans are going to receive a Hello Kitty t-shirt. It's summertime at the ballpark, August 4th through the 6th. It'll be the D-backs, sfgiants.com. Bruce Maxwell is going to hit. And the pitch to Maxwell is a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Graveman on deck. 2-0.
Ballpark very hitter friendly tonight, simply because there's not a whole lot of wind, just a trickling of wind. And you don't normally see carry to right field. You got it tonight.
And that's down low, so it's 3-1.
That's just a friendly wind right there. And we always get a pretty good idea how this ballpark's going to play just looking at the water in the bay. If it's calm like it is tonight, it's going to favor the hitter. But these nights are rare. So a leadoff walk, which allows us time to remind you that if you need help with a consumer problem, contact NBC Bay Area Response. In just 1 year, consumer investigator Chris Kimura has recovered more than $750,000 for people like you. Call 1-888-996-TIPS or visit NBCBayArea.com/response.
So Mark Canha's going to hit.
Bob Melvin, skipper of the A's, going to use one of his bullets, one of his extra men on the bench. He's got 5 tonight, as do the Giants. It's the first time we've seen that in a long time where both teams have had 5.
And a strike to Canha. Canha hitting 191. He's another guy that's strong. He can hit the ball out of the park.
First 2 games of this series, the A's had 3 extra men on the bench. Hey, there's none speed. My kind of guy.
That's a good jersey. I like it. Swing and a miss. 1-2. It's how you go through life, you know. Good speed to average speed to none speed.
There's none speed.
Crawford leaps. He's got it. Nice play. 1-0.
Well, he used up about all the hops he had. Let's take a look at how high he gets up. High backhander, immediately coming down, and what's he do? He looks to see if he has an opportunity at first. It's a fun play. Ty Block giving him the "you the man" finger.
Here's Raj Davis, who hit a ball to center field to open up the ball game. And he looks at a strike. Check swing. 0-2.
Hitters do not like that. They're going to get a strike. They want to get a rip. Check swing strikes. Nuh-uh. Only one thing worse, and that's a check swing comebacker to the pitcher.
Down low.
So why not go back down the dirt?
Why not? Maybe Raj Davis was leaning back towards the dugout.
Yeah, it looked like Dana DeMuth flinched, and that's an example of, you know, you get a kind of a bigger strike zone early in the count. It kind of tightens up a little bit.
It's a strike.
It is a strike. Dana DeMuth has always been that way. He's like the most reluctant umpire to ring up a guy.
Well, I got him now.
Strike 4.
Second strikeout for Ty Block.
All right. Did he go? Hey, yeah. You get the guy 2 check swings in at bat. He's not seeing you at all.
So here's Simeon, and he drives one out into Triple's alley, but is Pence waiting? Yes, he is. And that'll end the inning. Block pitches through a leadoff walk. Parker will lead it off.
Area is brought to you by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places.
Giants with an early 7-0 lead as Parker's going to lead things off. It's time for a change thing speedy. Oil change and auto service, your trusted oil change tune-up and smog experts.
So the new pitcher now for the A's will be Simon Castro, the big fella, 6'5", 230-pounder. He's 29 years of age, and this is his 11th year at the in professional baseball. Got about a half a year of time at the big league level. Hard thrower. You'll see mid to high 90s with a fastball, hard slider, and a changeup, but mostly fastball slider. But he can run it up there with some pretty good steam.
So 0-1 to Parker. Parker takes high. Parker doubled in 2 runs in the first. Out in the fish tank out in the Toyota fan zone. Parker takes a strike, 1-2.
Castro's got a really unusual start to his motion. He really sets his hands high above his back shoulder, and then he just drops his hands straight down into his swinging motion. It forms a huge throwing arc. A high set.
And Parker fouls it to the backstop. Parker's hit in the first inning. There's the motion that Mike's talking about.
As long as that front foot gets down, that hand's in a high position, and his certainly was in good position. That's all you really look for if you're the pitching coach. But a bit unorthodox.
Got him. But I was talking about Parker. Parker's hit is the hit that has eluded the Giants all year. They get 2 runs and they settle for 2, but his double made it 4.
Well, here was that swing of the bat. It certainly was not a hanger either from Kendall Graveman, and that was a pretty good sinker on the outside part of the plate. He just splits the opposite gap with an absolute perfect swing.
Panik was walked intentionally in the first. Out of play, 0-2. Ty Block is on deck. And he fouls it back. That ran right in on Joe Panik's hands. And he fouls it to stay alive. He'll see another pitch.
Hey, look who got the ball. Let's take a look at how he got it. All right, Dad. Nice going. Oh, yeah.
Close, 1-2.
The old man's got a little talent, huh?
Yeah.
She is stunned. I can't believe you did that. No glove. Barehander. You hunk.
I'll be with you one more day because of that.
Oh, yeah. Foul balls, you know?
Did he keep it or hand it over?
He gave it to the little guy.
Oh. 2-2. And Panik drives one way out into Triple's alley. And it'll be Pinder who makes the catch. People wonder why the Giants don't hit that many home runs in this park.
Well, right center is not where you go for home runs. I mean, that's a long way out there. But, hey, if you like triples, plus guys cheat to protect that gap. It opens up right field line. If you cheat one side, you're opening up an opportunity someplace else. You just have to find it.
Here's Block. Block takes a strike.
The hits are out there. You just have to believe they're out there.
Well, I agree with that. But the big flies are not.
No, not to right center.
Block hits one out into right center field, and Pinder with more action, and that's going to end the inning. Hey, fourth inning coming up, 7-0. I relived some of the greatest moments in Barry Bonds' career with Bonds Stands Alone, a special feature you can see during every Giants pre- and post-game shows right here on NBC Sports Bay Area. And by the way, it is a celebration of Barry Bonds as we approach the 10-year anniversary of 7-5-6 on August 7th. So Lowry's going to lead things off. 7-5-6.
Somebody is
He's lost
in the wrong place.
Yeah, he got on the wrong flight.
She is not happy.
Here's Lowry. Lowry rolled out to Belt. And he swings and picks up a base hit to open up the fourth. All right, let's check in with Amy G. Amy.
All right, gentlemen, we talked earlier about roster moves. Connor Gillaspie designated for assignment. Bruce Bochy saying this is one of the toughest moves he's had to make. He also said this, unfortunately, goes along with the territory when you're having a difficult season. About Connor, his teammates said he was extremely loved, a quiet leader, always came through in the clutch and in clutch situations. He's always ready. And he didn't care if he started, pinch hit. It didn't matter to him what situation he came into. He just wanted to win. An all-around team player. He will be missed, guys.
Well, I agree. He was just a great pro.
He was a pro.
I mean, these were the transactions that actually happened. May have been official today, but we knew about it last night. Outside to Davis. If I'm a contending team and I need some left-handed pop coming off the bench,
that's not going to rattle.
That's not going to rattle, as this is a shot up the middle for a base hit. And may hit you a big home run or two down the stretch, and even in postseason, he is the guy.
He's the guy. You know, and a lot of postseason is determined in the last 3 innings of a game, and Connor Gillaspie is a guy that is going to give you a great at bat under those lights.
I mean, it's pretty simple. If the Giants are having a good year and they're in contention for a wild card spot, he's still here.
No question. But believe me, it was our pleasure to be around the guy.
I mean, he's a victim of the Giants' record. That's what he is. Here's Healy. Healy takes a strike. This is a spot where if you're tie block, just keep Healy in the park.
Healy, 20 home runs on the year. Lots of power.
And that's a no swing. It's a ball and a strike. Lowry and Davis open up the fourth with base hits. And that's the kind of swing he takes. It's 1 and 2. He might want that one back.
Well, guys with power, they like to get their arms extended. They like to get the bat head out.
Belt and the infield fly roll, 1 out.
Got him reaching for a changeup. The guy just misses a fastball. He's going to keep thinking about that fastball. You come at him with the same arm action of that fastball, and you take about 4 feet off, put it in a good spot. That's what you get. Ball's off the end of the bat. Good pitch.
Here's Pinder, who hit a fly ball to Hunter Pence in the second. And he rolls this one foul. By the way, that ball went right behind a former Giant who you wouldn't recognize because he doesn't have hair anymore, and that's Steve Scarsoni.
Here's the great Scarsoni.
Look at the scars. Foul back, 0-2.
Another good guy.
He hasn't changed one bit.
He hasn't, except for his hair. Great baseball man right there.
Scoldo.
Mike Aldretti came up through the Giants organization. And all really good friends with that guy right there, Bob Melvin. A's have a good staff. Bob Melvin just recently celebrated his 1,000th win as a manager. Ooh. Dana DeMuth, he doesn't break guys up. It drives you crazy out there because you'll get a pitch early in the count. You come back to it late with a 2-strike count, and you expect to get the same pitch called a strike, and it just sort of tightens up. You don't always get the corner.
So do you think he was a hitter growing up?
Yeah, I do. Well, I mean, he was a good umpire, and you know, he controls the game well. I mean, you don't hear many guys complain about Dana DeMuth. Been around a long time.
Got him.
So, dude, you just called it a ball.
Did pitch a little bit when he was young, too.
All right, Buster Posey sticks it.
That's a strike.
It is a strike, but it's also a nice frame job, and that had everything to do with Block getting that call.
Here's Chapman. Chapman struck out in the second, and here he takes a breaking ball. And a strike at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike. Hey, you see the shark in the A's uniform. There we go.
I mean, Jeff Samardzija is a very charismatic personality, and he's got his jerseys all over the country.
I mean, we may on Monday see a Cubs jersey with Samardzija on the back.
And when you get to the White Sox Park in September, you're going to see more Samardzija jerseys.
What I really liked about Samardzija is he made it very clear to us that he did not want to go anywhere at the trading deadline. So I did not sign here to leave. Out of play.
Yeah, guy made a play up here at the club level with a glove. Left-hander. Got a nice applause. Good crowd tonight.
Two balls, 2 strikes. And the dirt blocked by Buster Posey. So another 3-2 pitch. There's a section here where there are a good group of A's fans. And this is going to be a flare that's going to fall. And 1-run score, so it's 7-1 on the base hit by Chapman.
Just a little fist job out to right field. I mean, a 3-2 count, 2 outs. I mean, similarly, I mean, Block's going to get in the strike zone, and even then, he throws that cut fastball, runs it up the bat. Just throw out a little Texas leaguer. A's on the board.
So here's Maxwell, who walked in the 3rd. And he shoots one foul. Heads up.
Let's go, Dad. Protector of the family. If your dad's sitting next to those 3, you got to make a play.
You have to. And a strike. It's nothing to 2. If not, if you can't catch it, then you need to play boiler ball.
Yeah. You got to get in front of it somehow.
Matt Joyce is on deck. That's some valuable property right there.
Yep, Dad just doing his job.
Crawford, side retired. 3 singles in the inning. It's 7-1 Giants.
authority of the San Francisco Giants and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of San Francisco Giants Baseball Club, LLC.
Well, stream the Giants on the go this season. You can stream every NBC Sports Bay Area Giants broadcast on your desktop or mobile device. Stream on the go on the NBC Sports app. It is Grateful Dead night here at the ballpark. A lot of tie-dye in attendance. A lot of good attitude through as we head to the bottom of the fourth inning. It is 7-1 Giants. Yep, the Peckners are our ball dudes tonight. That's Toby Peckner. And then there's Richie Peckner. You think they like the Grateful Dead? Yes, they do. Who doesn't?
Around here, you're absolutely correct. So,
Jack Straw's here.
this is not a Friday night crowd, right?
Well, it's a good attitude crowd.
It's a Friday night crowd on a Thursday night.
That's a good way to put it.
Here's Span. Span doubled in the second and scored.
And if you're a Grateful Dead fan, every night is Friday night.
Facing Simon Castro. Low, 1 ball and no strikes.
Can't get over the length of the throwing circle for Castro. I mean, he gets in position. Long arm, 6'5", sets it high.
And a strike. Ryder Jones is on deck. And a foul out of play, 1-2.
Take a look at Castro. Now watch the right hand as he brings it high. That ball's going to face towards right there. That's going to face towards second base. They call it feeding the giant. But that is where your hand should be, in that high position when that front foot drops. And that allows you to get your arm cocked and maximizes your wrist action through the crack of the whip, which is your throwing motion.
Got him.
Backdoor breaking ball. Good one. Watch the hand position as he brings it high, and it'll actually face right towards second base, right there. Now, here comes the elbow. It's higher than the shoulder. So with a really unorthodox style to get into position, once that front foot drops, the arm's in a good high position, and his release is out over his front foot. I mean, that's good. For a big, tall guy at 6'5", he's able to repeat the stroke.
Ryder Jones is 2 for 2, and he takes a strike. So
you look at a guy like Castro. This is an 11th year. He's got less than half a year at the big league level. He has spent a lifetime trying to find mechanics that allows him to repeat the stroke and get in the strike zone. He's a mid to high 90s guy, but he's always been wild. And this is how he's corrected it.
0-2.
It's a pretty simple motion. And when you're teaching throwing fundamentals to young kids, I mean, this is a guy that has put a lot of time to get into consistency, and he can help young kids.
Maybe playable for Chapman. 2 outs. The 4th of August. It's a Friday night. It's Video Gamer Night presented by Capcom, celebrating the 30th anniversary of Street Fighter. You're going to get a Street Fighter Giants t-shirt, and you need a ticket to the game. Remember, you also need the ticket to get the t-shirt. sfgiants.com/special events. Here's Belt. Belt is 2 for 2.
Well, Lucille, definitely a Baby Giraffe fan.
Buster Posey on deck with 2 outs. Belt takes low. This was the home run by Belt in the second.
Well, impressive. Got a ball middle away, takes it out the left center gap over the wall, and in this ballpark, you don't see that a lot.
And Belt shoots it right at the shift, and that'll end the inning. Castro 6 up, 6 down. 7-1 Giants.
August 3rd, 2001, against the Phillies. On this day, Andres Galarraga hit a 2-run walk-off home run off Turk Wendell of the Phillies. Giants won that ball game 4-2 as the Big Cat's second career walk-off home run and his first since 1987. It was also his second home run with the Giants. That's our McDonald's true story.
Here's Brugman, a pinch hitter. So Castro did his job. On the ground to second, where Panic has it. He waits for Belt. 1 out. On Monday the 7th, it's Metallica night. Hey, you want that Giants Metallica t-shirt? You need a special ticket to get it. Cubs Giants, sfgiants.com/special events. Hey, the girls are having fun at the yard tonight. They're not really having a little embarrassed that they're on TV. Here's Raj Davis inside for a ball. The more we show them, the harder they're going to laugh.
Yep, a couple of buds, BFFs.
It's low to Raj Davis. Play. 2 balls and 1 strike. On the ground to Belt, and Belt's going to make the play. I was thinking today, Mike, look, I'm not in charge of the Indians and what they do with their roster, but the home run that he hit against the Cubs in Game 7 of the World Series, I got to bring him back. I'm sorry. I don't care if he's just a coach. I'm bringing him back.
One of the greatest at-bats in your franchise's history
ever.
And we're not talking about a short history.
No. I mean, he gave that franchise a chance to win a World Series. You know, something that they hadn't done since 1948. This is hit to left. Parker going back. And that's an 8-pitch inning. So any Indians people are watching, I'm not trying to do your job, but just kind of figured it was automatic.
Killing me.
Home run, and look, for about 15 minutes this swing of the bat just rocked the baseball world. And late, what was that, the 8th inning, he hits a game-tying home run in Game 7 of the World Series, when at that point it didn't look like the Indians had any chance at all of coming back.
Yeah, that swing of the bat got the entire state of Ohio standing at the same time, losing their minds. And that will be his identity the rest of his life. That at bat.
Here's Buster Posey facing Chris Smith.
You know, in a moment like that could not happen to a nicer guy.
Oh, sensational guy. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change tune-up and smog experts.
So Chris Smith, the new pitcher for the A's, 5th time that he's come into a ball game. He's not going to blow you away with a lot of velocity, but he'll finesse you with a curveball and a changeup, 2 types of fastball. I mean, he's a guy that pitches well below the average fastball, which is 93 at this level, 92.9 miles per hour. And for him, a good fastball is, you know, 88.
Posey on the ground sharply to Simeon. His toe is in the dirt, but dug out.
Well, Giants baseball on NBC Sports Bay Area is brought to you by the Monterey Bay Aquarium. Incredible characters, memorable moments, and share the love at MontereyBayAquarium.org. Jerry Garcia lives.
Here's Crawford. Crawford lined out to right in his last at bat. Prior to that, he singled, knocked in a run, and scored a run in the first. Cues this one foul.
Did you have a philosophy when you've seen a hard thrower, and all of a sudden you come up, the next guy's throwing well below the average speed? I mean, what was your approach?
I mean, guys don't do it anymore, but I just move up in the box just a little bit. Kind of even things out. As long as it doesn't change your own particular strike zone. Moving up doesn't. Back and forth, it does. Slowly hit. And it turns out to be a nice play. Healy to Smith.
Now that is anything but easy. Remember, Healy's got the big first baseman glove, and to be able to pick it with your glove and then flip it with your glove, and that's good glove work. Once it gets past Smith, it's going to be interesting. And there's the big flop first baseman glove, and Healy makes it look like a second baseman's glove, which is the smallest glove on the field. It's a good play.
Pence is 0 for 2 and could easily have a hit in both at bats. And he looks at a strike, and it's 0-1.
And gone but not forgotten, Hunter Pence taking Connor Gillaspie's bat into the game tonight.
He said, Mike, in the dugout, it's a little shorter and a little lighter. One and two.
Plus, that's also a ball player's way of saying, I'm going to miss you, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Connor, I know it's a bad time right now to ask you this, but can you leave your bats here? And he probably did.
Yeah.
Probably took a couple with him. Three and two.
A little quick pitch there by Chris Smith.
And a base hit to right field. Sliding is Pinder. Pence going for 2, and he's going to make it. Pinder's had some action out there throwing the ball.
He really has. I mean, he's played the wall like he plays it a lot. A nice opposite field at bat from Hunter Pence, driving this ball. So Pinder does not let this even get to the wall. He gets it on a slide. But Hunter Pence, too much speed and a 2-out double.
So here's Parker. Parker is doubled and he's struck out. Check swing foul at home plate. In 1985, when I got released right around June 1st, I had a dozen bats that I took home. And it just so happened that Chili Davis found out around August that I had these bats at home, and he couldn't get his bat order fast enough. And he asked me for them. And I didn't want to give them up. I mean, this is going to be lumber for me for the rest of my life.
Yeah, this is like, you know, memorabilia lumber.
But I'm thinking, I got to give him up, right? To Chili, he's having a good year. Plus, if I remember right, Giants were not exactly scoring runs in bunches in '85.
No, they did not. It's not a good year offensively.
So I coughed him up.
But back then, you could get a dozen bats for about, you know, $125 bucks. Now,
forget it. And a base hit to right field for Parker. Pence is going to score, and this will be another double for the Giants.
take a look at the two-seam fastball coming right into the whack-me zone, just above the knees. Out over the plate. Second double of the night. And Jared Parker coming back with some flair after missing 96 days on the disabled list with a broken clavicle. He's got to feel pretty good about tonight.
So here's Ty Block after Joe Panik was walked intentionally for the second time. Now, I didn't even notice that.
You didn't see the balloon?
Did not, well, if they sent up a balloon, I would have noticed it. Block is 0 for 2.
Yeah, having a hard time selling it tonight. One good thing about cotton candy, if you're a vendor, doesn't weigh a whole lot.
No, it's not very heavy. You're right. Block skies it into center field. Hit well. It is out of here. And this is going to go very well for those starting pitchers that take batting practice every day, because he's got a big fly.
Wow, and he's got a big fly over the center field wall at AT Park. His first big league home run, and that'll put a smile on everybody's face. Let's take a look at it, and that is room service. And for Ty Block, when you get somebody throwing close to batting practice speed, you can do some damage. I don't recall him ever doing that in batting practice.
No, he can do it, but you don't see him to center field. I mean, he'll hit a few to the left. So 11-1. It was Span at the plate. And Span takes down low.
And watch the reception. 416 feet. He'll not forget that anytime soon. Look, Chris Smith is a finesse pitcher. I mean, he's a guy that, you know, that's his best fastball, 86. But he makes a living with changeups and curveballs. But for a pitcher, 86, I mean, you're looking forward to that at bat. And he got what he was looking for, and he did something with it.
Span lifts one the other way, and it'll be Davis. And that'll end the inning. Giants drop a 4 spot here in the 5th. We'll head to the 6th. It's 11-1 Giants.
Played the Togo's way 20 seasons ago, 1997. The Giants and the A's played the first interleague matchup July 2nd, with JT Snow hitting the first home run for the Giants in Bay Bridge history. for the San Francisco Giants' only run in that 8-1 loss. The next day, Snow would hit 2 more home runs as the Giants won their first game versus Oakland in the regular season.
Yeah, if I remember right, JT had some big numbers against the A's.
Going to see him this weekend.
There's Lowry.
And a lot of the 1997 Giant team.
Line to left, but Parker's there. 1 out. There's Davis. Davis singled in the 4th inning. And he takes a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. There's a strike. .80 pitches for Ty Block. Ooh, he's got a rip, doesn't he?
And he got a pitch to rip too. That was out over the plate. That's not where Buster Posey wanted that fastball. That cut fastball, he wanted it to start on the inside corner, let the movement come off the plate in. You miss out over the plate to this guy. I mean, he can hit it off the Coke bottle in left field, and that is not an exaggeration. He is that strong.
Foul back. On deck is Ryan Healy. And he got him. Hey, Amy G is here, still here. Amy, what's up?
I am still here. Tonight is a fun night at the park. It marks the 8th annual Jerry Garcia Tribute Night, Grateful Dead Night here at AT Park. Always fun to celebrate the Bay Area-based band. This one a little extra special, though, because members of the Garcia family are here celebrating the 50th anniversary of the Summer of Love in San Francisco. About 3,000 people got here early to hear the iconic band play prior to the game. Sunshine Garcia Parker, a Deadhead herself, sang the anthem. She was awesome. Summer of Love. Dwayne, is that one of your favorites?
No, I told you it was the summer of no action for me.
Well, you're in Racine, Wisconsin.
It's 1 ball and no strikes.
You should have been here in the city.
It was summer of milking cows and baling hay, if I recall.
Well, you love what you're doing, so.
I didn't at the time. I thought we were being punished. 1 ball and 1 strike to Ryan Healy. We will go to the lake when it turns 95 degrees. That was my dad's deal.
Geneva or Michigan?
Lake Geneva. What we didn't know is he did his research, and he didn't do it on the internet, that it never in the history of the state of Wisconsin had ever gone past 93.
So he had you, but you kept hoping.
We'd stare at that thermometer and say, well, we're going to get there, and it never did. And then every once in a while he'd throw us in the car and off we'd go. And he was not a big fan of the lake. He couldn't swim.
Well, if I couldn't swim, I wouldn't be a big fan of the lake either.
Here's the 1-2 and another foul down the right field line and out of play.
If I couldn't swim, I'd be a big fan of the hose in the backyard.
My dad was a big fan of ground.
There's a good play. There's a Wilson man. Not a bit.
Easy.
You know what it said?
Said,
I love Lake Geneva.
1 ball and 2 strikes. 2-2.
Lake Geneva's beautiful.
Actually, there was a little lake closer. It's called Browns Lake. And we thought it was the greatest lake ever. Off the end of the bat, Span. And that'll end the inning. The summer of love. 11-1 Giants.
Sports Bay Area is brought to you by the all-new 2017 Chrysler Pacifica. By AAA. Get a free canvas backpack. Restrictions apply. Go to AAA.com/roadtrip or to a AAA branch for details. By Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by Heffernan Insurance Brokers. Insurance and financial services for you and your business. Visit hefins.com.
Giants with an 11-1 lead, and Ryder Jones hitting for the 4th time here in the 6th. He's got 2 singles, he scored twice, and he's got an RBI. Belt to follow. And it's 2 balls and a strike. This is rolled on the ground, and it'll be Healy to Smith, 1 out. That'll bring up Belt. Belt's had a good game. He's had a double, a home run. And the pitch to Belt, and Belt hits a high fly ball left center field. It's Davis on the move, and Davis will make the catch as he bounces up against the wall. 2 outs. So Belt has hit the ball hard 4 times tonight.
Well, you know, I know it's a long fly ball and it's an out, but you know the fact that he's driving the ball to left center, I mean that's where he wants to be. It went over the wall earlier in the game.
Here's Buster Posey. And Buster takes a strike. Mr. Posey was the first hitter that Smith faced in the 5th. And it's a quick 0-2. Breaking ball inside, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Big changeup. Look at the hand action from Smith. I mean, he's real quiet with his glove and his upper body. There's not a lot of movement. Very compact. Seems that this generation of pitcher has really strived to be compact, especially with their take-back step as they get started to go into their motion. You go back and take a look at some of the old footage of baseball in the 30s and 40s, and the windups were enormous. Now they're just tiny.
Was he on the ground foul?
Oh, between the legs. Toby Peckner, our ball dude. What happens? You put on Grateful Dead socks, you get a little crazy.
Yep.
The key about making a play like this, you got to make sure you have a cup on.
Yeah, you just can't make that play two-handed, though.
No, that kills it.
Yeah, it does.
I don't think I've ever seen a guy do it to
and that's on the ground to third, charged by Chapman. And Chapman will throw in time, and that'll end the inning. Through 6 innings, it's 11-1 Giants. Brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Well, it was a start for Kendall Graveman, which didn't go well, and a start for Ty Blach, which has gone well. See what Chapman and Graveman went through tonight. Parker has had a nice night. You know, by the way, Ty Blach has a 3-run home run to go with his outstanding pitching tonight as he looks into Chad Pinder. And the pitch to Pinder. And it's high, 1 ball and no strike. 7th inning. Moncrief is now in right field, and Hundley is doing the catching. And this has popped up to either Panic, Moncrief, and it's going to fall. So a little communication issue between Panic and Moncrief.
Well, I mean, this should be universal language. It becomes an I got it, you take it. And whatever happens, I mean, as an outfielder, infielder, you just want to hide.
Yeah. if it's going to happen, it's going to happen when a change is made in the outfield. So here's Chapman. So now you forget about it and see if you can get a double play ball. But I can tell you from experience that when the next pop-up goes up, you start to worry a little bit that it's not going to happen again. And this is flipped out to right, and Moncrief's going to make the catch. Holding the powerful accountable is more important than ever, and NBC's Bay Area's investigative unit is doing just that, changing 25 laws and policies and investigating billions of dollars, tax dollars. Count on the one station invested in making a difference for you. NBC Bay Area, we investigate.
Yep, short sleeve night tonight here at the ballpark. And right now, I don't think there's any wind at all, and that is rare at AT&T.
Crawford to Panic to Belt. Just what we're talking about. 6 pitches. Moncrief and Panic can be friends. 11-1 Giants.
I mean, he made another three-pointer is the way we look at it. Right now, it's 11-1 Giants. We're in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Time now for our Smart Play. It's brought to you by your California Ford dealers. On this date, August 3rd, 2004, that's when Noah Lowry pitched a 3-hit shutout against the Reds for his first career win. 2 walks, 9 strikeouts, and 120-pitch performance. Giants won that game 11-0, and Lowry finished the 2004 season with a 6-0 record and 14 starts. You know, I think about Noah Lowry, and it always seems to me that was a guy who really had a chance to be special, but injury denied him a longer career.
He'd still be pitching.
He was really a great pitcher.
He'd still be throwing that changeup. There's a pitch down low to Crawford.
He could pitch.
And he still lives in the area. He's now very much associated with the Giants Community Fund and the Junior Giants, and he's a good dude. Crawford shoots it foul. Heads up, Hunter Pence. Hunter shaking his head. I just said it's safer in right field than in the dugout.
Well, stick next to Eli Whiteside on his left. He'll protect you.
If I was going into a bar, I'd want Eli Whiteside to protect me.
No question. And I don't care where the bar is either.
Doesn't matter.
Eli's in the go mode 24/7.
Hit right back to where it came from, and Crawford's going to be retired. In between innings, as you would expect, Moncrief is going to go up to Panic and say, look, it's my bad, I called it, and then I backed off. And Joe's going, you know what, we're good. He touches his ear. I heard you. Ron Wotus he's got the tennis thing going back and forth.
Well, that's one thing you see at the big league level. When there is a mistake made, mental error, physical error, not so much physical, but mental errors, those coaches are on you as soon as you get out the field. They're going to attend to it immediately. It's not going to wait till tomorrow or after the game.
If it's going to happen, then have it happen in a game like this one.
Exactly. 11-1 game, you have a tendency to forgive and forget. Tie score, one-run ball game, different story.
Moncrief takes a strike. It's 0-2.
And I think that in a baseball game, if there is a mental mistake made, it has to be dealt with right then and there.
Absolutely.
Don't want to run the risk of having it happening again.
Bottom of the 7th. Giants will stay here. They'll take on the D-backs tomorrow night. The A's will get on a plane after the game and head to Anaheim. But the A's will be back after the game on Sunday night. These two teams will be in the same area for the Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. 3-2. Hey, bum tomorrow night.
Taking on the Arizona Diamondbacks, who won today in Wrigley Field, 10-8.
So Moncrief strikes out. MLB.com at bat is your #1 mobile app for live Giants baseball. You get Giants home screen icons and app features. Download MLB.com at bat today. So here's Parker. Parker's got 2 doubles. And he takes high. 1 ball and no strikes. Panic to follow.
Love for Fred, bound to meet all the mustard you can eat. Get your red hot, red hot, red hot, red hot, red hots.
I'm talking and not enough selling. That's the story I'm going with. There's a base hit for Parker.
Take a look at where the ball is. Right a little bit off the outside corner at 76 mile an hour. That's his changeup. That's really his bread and butter. Not fooled at all. Jared Parker sees it, waits for it. Doesn't get both cheeks into it, but he barrels it.
Nothing wrong with a 1-cheek hit. Here's Panic. Panic takes a strike with Ty Block on deck. It's always great to see guys that come out of the game stay in the dugout.
Well, that's something this generation does a great job with. Come out of the game, stay in the dugout, root for your teammates. Plus, if a fight breaks out, you can represent. Hunter Pence talking over with Ryder Jones. Veteran rookie conversation, talking about hitting.
in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Shallow center field. Going out is Simeon, and he'll put it away, and that'll end the inning. No runs, a hit, 1 left. Through 7, all Giants tonight.
Well, a night to smile for Bruce Bochy. It has been that kind of an offensive night. And Ty Blach has handled things from the mound. He has been great with his arm and with his bat. Blach also has hit a 3-run homer.
This is Smith hitting.
Got some defensive changes. Kelby Tomlinson in now playing shortstop. Crawford's night is over, and Gorkys Hernandez is in center with Span's night ending.
So Hernandez in center. And Joe Penny.
The Giants coverage is not over after the postgame show. The McCovey Chronicles' Grant Brisby and Therese Vignal will bring you a fresh take on the game and the season on Giants Outsiders tonight after postgame live.
Davis, high drive to left and gone. So Raj Davis hits his 5th of the year. Maybe not as dramatic as Game 7 of the World Series last year, but nearly in the same spot.
You know what my concern was on that home run? Watching Jared Parker go back to the wall.
Yeah.
Remember back to April, I mean, he put himself on the disabled list for 4 months by running into a wall. Here, a high fastball, and Rajai Davis gets extended. And watch Parker going back on this. If they could look out for the wall. Gone.
Now the fans threw the ball back, so that stops the action. So it's Simeon who's 1 for 3. Simeon doubled in the first. And for Ty Blach, that's 102 pitches.
Well, he's been fantastic tonight.
Hit out into left center field, and it'll be Gorky Hernandez who tracks it down. And let's check in with Amy G. Amy?
All right. Well, Mike, interesting. You should talk about that wall and Jared Parker. I asked him before today's game, I interviewed him for our pregame show, how he got over the fear of the wall after breaking his clavicle back in April. And he said, you know what, as luck would have it, or not luck, in his first rehab game, he had 3 plays at the wall. And he said, you've got to be kidding me. But it helped him get over being afraid of it. He said now he's just more cognizant of the wall and aware of the wall because he realizes the wall usually wins. Guys?
Yes, it is not your friend. So Ty Blach bounces back, and the Giants are coming up.
Brought to you by T-Mobile, and the schedule started for the Arizona series. It's going to be a couple left-handers going at each other tomorrow. Anthony Banda taking on Madison Bumgarner. Then Taijuan Walker and Chris Stratton on Saturday, and Sunday's finale will be Patrick Corbin and Jeff Samardzija. And that's your T-Mobile Unlimited Baseball break.
So here's Miguel Gomez facing Chris Smith, and there's a pitch outside for a ball. So Ty Blach, his night is over, and I don't blame him for smiling. Well, hey, you pitch good, you hit a 3-run home run. Come on.
Yeah, it doesn't get any better than that. I mean, you could be Rick Wise and throw a no-hitter and hit 2 home runs, I guess.
That's true.
And he actually did that, folks.
I played with Rick Wise. This is lined right at Davis. And there was the DH, so he never got to see him hit. Stay tuned for Giants postgame live, Eastern's postgame live. You're going to get highlights, analysis. You're going to get a lot of stuff, and it's all coming up for an hour right after the game. Here's Span, make it Hernandez. With Ryder Jones to follow. And a call strike. Smith got 2 outs in the 5th, and then he gave up 3 hits and a walk. Other than that, he's pitched fine. Swing and a miss, 1 and 2.
Well, it's been a solid rookie campaign for Ty Blach. You know, the best part about watching a rookie in his first year get to that point where he expects himself to do well every time he goes out. I mean, that's what you're looking for. But tomorrow it's a veteran. Madison Bumgarner going to take the ball.
Sharply on the ground in the backhand as Chapman knocks it down, and Marquis Hernandez will have a base hit. And that'll bring up Ryder Jones. There's Corey Guerin. He will pitch the top of the 9th inning. Ryder Jones 2 for 4. Ryder Jones has had about 3 weeks in the big leagues, and already he gets the shift.
Does not take long. But by the time you get to the big leagues, I mean, everybody knows about you. Baseball, small world.
Fans getting the cell phones out. One and 2. And he tried to tease him with a pitch blowing away, a little backdoor.
You know, one thing that Smith has done is he's been able to locate down around the knees a little better. He got hurt when he got the ball up a few times.
And this is lofted out to Lowry, who makes the catch, and Belt is going to hit with 2 outs. Belt, early damage, a double and a home run. He's hit the ball hard 3 times. And he takes low and away.
Well, here was the home run that Belt hit the opposite way in the 2nd inning that he has to be excited about. He's doing that. He's locked in. I think if you're a slugger, you have to feel it. You can take one out the opposite gap.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, if you're right-handed in this ballpark, if you can do that, you've got legitimate power. Rare legitimate power. I bet, partner, since this ballpark's opened up, we could probably say that there's been less than 50 games where there's been no wind this deep into a ball game.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Tonight, the flag's out, right? They're doing nothing. When that happens, it usually means that it's warm in the Bay Area, and it has been. Straight down at 9:30.
Hey, it's always entertaining as you head on 24 towards the Cullicut Tunnel, and it says 102, and then you kind of make a bet with yourself, what's it going to be when I get through the tunnel? And it's usually anywhere from 15 to 19 degrees cooler. then as you get closer to the Bay Bridge, and then when you get to Candlestick, it's 50.
What was the biggest difference from coming from Danville in the East Bay?
About 55 degrees when we were at Candlestick.
You lost 55 degrees coming from your house to Candlestick.
Yeah.
That's remarkable. In the same day, the same drive.
Yeah, in the same day.
Within an hour. So you tell people that back east, Midwest, they don't believe you.
Oh, I am. Remember when I came here, I thought it was low clouds. I said, no, that's the fog.
It's not the fog. Here's your marine layer, baby. Get used to that.
Hundley swings and misses. That's going to end the inning, and we will go to the 9th. And it's 11-2 Giants. Our long pregame live at 6, and then we'll have the game for you right at the top of the hour at 7. And where are you going to see it? Well, you're going to see it right here on NBC Sports Bay Area. And check out Alex Pavlovich at NBCSportsBayArea.com. When it's time for a change, think Speedy. Oil change and auto service, your trusted oil change tune-up and smog experts.
So Corey Guerin going to come on board here in the 9th inning, going to try and close it out for Bruce Bochy. 44th time that he has come into a game. He's having a solid season. Really has cut down on his walks, which was something that plagued his report card early in the year. He's up to where he's getting closer to a 2-to-1 strikeout walk ratio.
Here's Chris Davis. One ball and no strikes. Davis, Healy, Pinder, all right-handed hitters against Corey Guerin. One ball and one strike.
Crossfire 92-mile-an-hour strike in the outside corner. Miguel Gomez comes in. He's going to finish things out at second base. Mark Melanson talking it over with Ty Block. Melanson getting better. Not too far away from seeing him back active.
1-2. 1-2 pitch. Got him.
And that's perfection with a 2-strike breaking ball. Guy swings at it for the 2nd strike. You just keep going out wider, throwing those frisbees. And Chris Davis keeps chasing.
So here's Ryan Healy. Healy is flied out, popped out, and then he's flied out one more time to center field. Swing. Ain't gonna miss. No balls and 1 strike. Giants led after 2, 7-0, and then they topped it off with 4 runs in the 5th. So 3 innings where they had crooked numbers. Out of play, 0-2.
Crooked numbers, I mean, that's the goal. And for the Giants this year offensively, I mean, just haven't been a lot of crooked numbers. Haven't been a lot of 3-run homers. Ty Block hit just the 4th one they've hit as a team this year. Hit that tonight to center field.
See Austin Slater talking to Samardzija.
First 101 games of the year, they've scored 10+ runs 4 times. The last 9 games, they've done it 3 times. Well, to do it here at home, I mean, that's the key. And they've done that tonight. 13-hit performance.
Got him. 2 down. So Pinder picked up a base hit in the 7th. That was a little pop-up that Moncrief and Panic. A little miscommunication, and it fell in for a hit. 1 ball and no strikes.
Yep.
You know what? Give Mom credit for hanging in there for 9.
Gave her, babe. She's not leaving early.
Called strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Outside. Bumgarner tomorrow night. Stratton on Saturday, Samardzija on Sunday. It's been a while since the Giants have seen the D-backs. On the ground. Is that a heavy ball?
Well, I think maybe spike's a bit too long. As Ryder Jones was coming across ready to unload, he stumbles right here. He catches his spike, and they couldn't get a throw off. So he does really the smart thing, not throwing it.
Yeah, well, like we said earlier, do it in this game.
Just be thankful it's not the 7th game of the World Series and then last out.
You know what? Nobody saw it. How about Pinder's night? Does he got the magic one do going or what?
Magic one do. He had the pop up that was dropped. They ruled that a hit.
They did. You know what? Even if by all reasons is that supposed to be a hit, I can't give the guy a hit.
No.
I can't.
General principle. All right, this is a big league knock. Here we go. All right, here we go. Yeah.
If that's your first big league hit, you have to hide the ball.
You have to lie. You have to say it was an opposite field line drive. But it happens. The game will humble you. I mean, that's just what you learn up here. And it gets everybody. You're going to do something that just, you hope nobody sees it.
Oh, my goodness.
Ryder Jones, you're human. So if you're Corey Guerin, you say, well, I'm going to pick up Ryder Jones.
Yep. Two balls, two strikes. Tomlinson shovels to Gomez, and that's the ball game. So a nice win for Ty Blach, who pitches well. He did get the benefit of a very nice early lead, a 7-0 lead, and then he tops it off by hitting a 3-run home run. So all in all, a nice night.
Yeah, it really was a nice night. Bruce Bochy had a little word with the troops tonight. They rallied well with 13 hit, 11-run performance, and they split with the A's. So good baseball tonight. Welcome back, Jared Parker, Ryder Jones, and Ty Blach. You are the man tonight.
All right. So in the 4 games, each team wins 2, and tonight the Giants win it by a final of 11-2. Stay tuned. Esurance Giants postgame live starts right now.